Wenceslas Square, and its dominating feature, the bronze statue of the Czech patron saint. At the top of the long plaza sits the National Museum, founded in 1818. Its brilliant dome was regilded in recent years. The bustle of new free market commerce is evident everywhere. Prague's fascinating history comes alive as Czech guide Radek leads a walking tour of the city that shows influences of many different eras. Side by side with ancient distinctive buildings which have served as a colorful backdrop to many popular films, including Amadeus and Mission Impossible. And Prague, a major tourist destination since it shed communism in 1989, is working to show the world its new shine while keeping its old world charm. In Old Town Square, in front of the Old City Hall, Radek describes its famous astronomical clock.
Really very important because you can read till nowadays the books that, for example, the wood you can't cut by the when the moon is getting to be smaller. You can't cut the wood because if you do it, the wood cut in this season, it will be very quickly rotten, damaged, and so on.
Among Prague's most important notable personalities is Charles IV, who became King of Bohemia in 1346 and Holy Roman Emperor in 1355. His contributions to Prague's landscape include imposing St. Vitus Cathedral and the ancient and beautiful Charles Bridge, which he began to build in 1357. It wasn't actually completed, however, until the beginning of the 15th century. The bridge extends with its 30 religious statues across the Vltava, or River Moldau, anchored at the end by Old Town's Powder Tower, so named because it was used as a powder magazine in the 18th century. Now begins a very special collaboration. Two choirs combined to rehearse for a concert to be presented in Dvorak Hall of Prague's spectacular Rudolf Finum.
I want to say, please someone translate. For you Americans, this is President Ivan Helso, and this is the manager, Vladimir Valenta. We tried to introduce them last night. And we're very... and so they are very important people in this organization, and I will introduce their conductor just in a minute. But I want to say that to the Czechs that we are very happy to be here. Please translate. We have come many miles and many hours. I'm very excited, and we're going to make beautiful music this evening. Last but not least, another short conductor, Miroslav Hustler. Short conductor.
The program will include a joint presentation of a piece that's well known, especially to the Czechs.
Thank you.
The Dvorak Mass in D, along with selections to be performed by each choir individually. A warm-up and a little back-rub bonding begins one last run-through of the American part of the concert.
Amen. couldn't have been here 8 years ago, obviously. And I think you could tell at the end of the concert last night when Jim and Miroslav held hands, and you know, there was very good applause for that. There was a sense that this was a good experience to have the two groups together. The two flags that were there, I think that was meaningful to them, very meaningful to them.
They played very well in tune, and they played together, and they thought together, they felt it together. I've never conducted an orchestra as fine as that orchestra.
Really? Do you think two countries, Atlantic Ocean between them, they can sing together?
Absolutely.
Or do you know what means this fact for us after 40 years of cage?
Yes. It's hard to imagine, but it means more to you than us because we.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I think it was wonderful.
In the heart of a city and country only recently liberated from communism, the chorale singers will join a 90-member joint choir which will present the citizens of Leipzig with a rare musical gift, a concert in Leipzig's world-famous Gewandhaus. This special event is the highlight of the 1997 American Choir Festival. Today's very exuberant rehearsal includes singers of 3 choirs from different areas of the United States. The choir has gathered in Leipzig's venerable Alte Börse, or Old Trading House. Built in 1687, it's a gem in Leipzig with its gilt ornaments and music box-like appearance. The large combined choir is led by the festival's energetic artistic director, Peter Hendrickson. As director of choral activities at Augsburg College in Minneapolis, Peter is a notable presence in American choral performance. His love of music and of Germany blended to make him contributor to the modern musical culture in Germany. The American Choir Festival is the brainchild of Babs Wheeler.
I'm not quite sure how I came upon it. It was an idea that I've had for a long time, since the early 80s when I began bringing groups to Eastern European countries. And then the wall came down and we said, oh my gosh, did we really mean that? Did we really want to do that, or was that just a pipe dream? And it didn't take long to realize that we really did want to do that if it was at all possible.
Well, isn't that great? I want you to go rum-bum-bum, okay? Don't be afraid. Just do it. Slop it up. Slurpee, slurpee, slurpee.
It's been a dream, and you just let's do it right so that it's a good experience for everybody.
Then you see the folks are rising. Then you see the world on fire. Then you see the stars are falling. In that break in the morning, they love, in that break in the morning.
But the Gewandhaus Spectacular isn't the chorale's only performance during the visit to Leipzig. A concert in St. Nicholas Church, Nikolaikirche, is a highlight. The spectacular church, named for the patron saint of travelers and merchants, contains elements of Romanesque, Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque, and Classicist styles.
Well, it's a great thrill to be in Leipzig. I mean, what a place to be, and this is such a terrific venue and a great organ. Not the organ that was here when Bach was here.
Rehearsal seems extra special in a building that has offered so much to Leipzig life through the happiest and even the darkest times.
But you know, frankly, the most exciting thing about being here is not the music today for me. Because it was here at the Monday night prayer meetings that began the revolution that eventually broke down the Berlin Wall. And to me, this is a place where peace and freedom began in East Germany, so it's very exciting from that point of view also. We could say Nun danket alle Gott for that. I got a double dose today. We began with Ubi Caritas, and it sounded very, very nice from where I was sitting in the balcony and the choir standing here and singing. And then the Abschied at the end. I was just hoping that people wouldn't get up and leave after we said farewell, but would stay for the Dvorak.
The chorale offers its own Dankeschön to Leipzig with a program that includes the Dvorak Mass in D and a repertoire of American music, including compositions by Wilbur Skeels. At the heart of Paris, crowning its Ile de la Cité, is Notre Dame Cathedral. The magnificent sanctuary was begun by Maurice de Sully, then Bishop of Paris, in 1163. The towers were completed in 1250, and the famous flying buttresses were added in the 14th century. Privileged to rehearse alone in the cathedral, a chorale explores the sacred space behind the huge portals, closed to thousands of summer tourists outside in the square. The exquisite interior of Notre Dame is ours to enjoy in relative quiet. Sunday Mass in Notre Dame Cathedral will be celebrated with choral music performed by a fortunate American group from Southern California. As the Mass concludes, the massive cathedral doors open to bright light and a glorious improvisation on the chorale's selections, which the organist performs on France's largest organ. The Happy Chorale retires the performances of its 1997 European tour, an experience destined to be one of the most memorable ever for each its members.